Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex with you here again. It's good to see everybody back. Hopefully everybody's been having a great week, and I wish everybody a great, pleasant, productive weekend as well. Over 900 subscribers now. Amazing. You guys are doing a great job at watching the videos, at liking and commenting on my channel, at subscribing. I'm so happy that my channel has generated this much interest. If I was asked maybe a couple of months ago if there was going to be any type of interest in my channel, I'd be like, no way. And just seeing you guys express so much interest motivates me so much to continue, and I just wanted to take a second to thank each and every one of you guys for liking the videos, for subscribing, for doing your part. But today we'll be mainly just focusing on the roll-up chessboards and the different varieties. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the regular commonplace board that we are more than likely to see when we go to tournaments or in any scholastic events are going to be vinyl roll-up chessboards. These are going to be the most commonplace. My vinyl chessboard, the one that I wanted to show you guys, actually got ruined, so I left that out for the kids. The kids took some markers and they painted all over it, as you could see. So it's not in its best shape, but one of the things I wanted to show you guys is this particular board. I don't know if I'll be able to show it up close, but this particular board has been kind of folded like this, so it's starting to have these little creases here. If it's gonna, it might not be that noticeable, but there's these creases that started to occur. That's one of the reasons why I moved on from a vinyl chessboard onto like a Mousepad chessboard, because I started to notice that my previous vinyl chessboards, they did a couple of things that I didn't like so much. For one, when you take a vinyl chessboard and you roll it up really tightly, like this, as you would when you're carrying all the time, eventually when you roll the vinyl chessboards out during like a tournament, the board wants to kind of roll back up. And when you sort of roll it out, a lot of times, even if you sort of spread it out the best you can, the corners will sort of want to do this. It's not a big deal, because as you're playing the game, you're putting all the pieces where you want to, so the pieces kind of help to weigh the board down, but you still have these little corners that are kind of folded up a little bit, and I didn't like that so much. Furthermore, if you do roll the board up, the vinyl ones, it tends to keep it more or less preserved. But if you fold it, like you fold it in two and then you fold it in two again, as I've seen a lot of people do, because not all chess bags allow you to carry the board rolled up. Some of the carrying cases that I've seen, you have to kind of fold your board in this fashion. And what happens with the vinyl boards is that when you roll them up like this, over time, you'll start to notice that when you unroll them, you'll have all these wrinkles all over the board, all these creases. And unfortunately, I mean, these aren't really expensive boards, but unfortunately, it's hard to get these creases to go away. So you end up having a board that looks like it's been used up again and again, and it just starts to look a little bit old and used up. So that's one of the reasons why, even though the vinyl boards are so commonplace, I don't use them as much. Having said that, I know a lot of people love these vinyl boards. They're easily accessible. You can buy them at tournaments. You can buy them online. They're relatively inexpensive. You get a lot of different colors to choose from, a lot of different sizes. You can get the standard 2.25-inch tournament size, or you can get slightly bigger. They're easy to manufacture, they're cheap, and like I said, you can get a lot of different varieties. Not only the standard, but if you guys have seen online, like you can get them printed in different backgrounds. Like you'll have nature background with the squares kind of overlaying the nature, or like the cosmos, like planets and stuff. I've seen some with like beaches, and it gets wild. It gets wild. I don't have a board like that to show you guys. If you are interested, I can pick one up. They're not that expensive, but in my opinion, I would say that a board like that might be a little bit distracting, just because when you're playing a game, you do like to have a clear distinction between light and dark colors. And when you have ones that are really custom made with all the nature scenes, I feel like it would be a little bit tougher for you to sort of overlook the fact that you have a distracting background and really, you know, focus on the game so much. Unfortunately, as I've already mentioned, I left this board out for my kids to play with, and they took some markers and ended up drawing all over it. This morning I actually took some, I wanted to clean the board up before showing it on this video, but I ended up taking a little bit of nail polish remover. I think it was acetone, and I put it on a little towel and to remove these marker stuff, because I figured, you know, acetone. As soon as I put the towel on top of this board, literally I didn't even have to do a whole lot of rubbing, just a little bit. It started taking off, like as you could see right over here, right here. This didn't even take a whole lot, but it immediately started taking off the color, as you could see right over here. So now this board is more or less kind of ruined, but that is something that I want to, you know, kind of mention to you guys, because I kind of thought that the print here would be like more hard printed, or I don't know how they do it, but maybe like stamped in or something. But I'm guessing they were using some kind of color that is removed by like nail polish remover. Now, not that you would have nail polish remover on your hands when you'd be playing games, so I don't think we have really anything to worry about, but that is something that you guys I just wanted to let you know. So now that I've used that, so the board is pretty much ruined, but it was kind of ruined beforehand. But there you have it. This is kind of a standard, in this particular case, blue color. I know there's different ones, vinyl board. I think price-wise, the vinyl boards do run approximately somewhere between, depending on where you look, maybe between $10 to maybe like $15, $16 for a nice, decent tournament-sized board. So you could probably even end up finding one under $10. So these are going to be very commonplace, not very expensive at all. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other varieties, okay? Next we see, I've shown this board before. This is a Mousepad variety type of board. The size of this board is going to be a little bit bigger. I think they do kind of a slightly non-standard size. I think it's like a 2.3 instead of a 2.25. So it does make this board feel a little bit more spacious. I don't necessarily think that you know, on any tournaments they're going to be measuring your squares to see if your board qualifies, because it's pretty much just ever so slightly bigger. But that little bit of size increase, I feel like, gives your pieces a little bit more breathing room. So in my opinion, I think the 2.3 square size is quite nice. It's almost like a 2.25, but just ever so slightly bigger. This is the standard sort of green and white variation with, as you could see, nice, clearly defined notation on the sides. Everything's nice and clear. This is a new board. It's got this very typical Mousepad back to it. If you guys haven't seen this before, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have already had these boards or seen them around, it's relatively thick. It's got a really nice sort of a feel to it. It does not crease like the vinyl board. You can fold this up in four and put it somewhere in a backpack. Now, when you do fold it up, I probably wouldn't necessarily like advise to really squeeze, because if you squeeze enough on the sides where you fold them, maybe you'd end up creating a permanent crease of some sort. That's still a possibility, but these boards are this board is heavy, on the heavy side because of the thick material on the underside. But overall, I love these boards. I've loved them for a while. I switched from a vinyl board to a Mousepad board a long time ago, and I started taking strictly the Mousepad boards to all the tournaments I went to. The number one thing is that if you roll these boards up, for me, like if you roll them up like this, and you keep them rolled up for, you know, a while, when you come to a tournament, you unfold them, there's no creases, there's nothing like, you would see with the vinyl board, where the sides sort of bend in like that. Everything's nice and flat, and you're ready to go. So you don't need to sit there and do this, as you see oftentimes people do. The colors are nice and contrasty, so nice clean board. Overall, very nice to play on. One of the things that I do want to mention about this particular board is, you know, this is a very standard color. It's a very standard, fairly vivid squares right here. Really nice to play on, very nice for a lot of tournaments. However, this little guy right here, this board is actually slightly smaller, but I think the squares are, well, the squares are, this is a 2.25. This is my older Mousepad board. I've had this for over 15 years. This is the one that I did the video on, where I washed it and tried to get it looking a little bit better. The kids still got to it. The kids still marked all over it. So once again, it's got some rubbish on the side, as you can see right over here. But this board, having been washed, I think more than once, the squares here are green, but they're faded green. So if you look at the difference between the two boards, let me see if I can just pick them up for you. Here we go. You can see that this is the new one, and then this is the old one. The faded green actually is a lot more like subtle green, whereas this is more striking, more vivid. In my opinion, when I play a game, I would much rather have something that's less striking, that's a little bit more subtle. Because, and I've mentioned this before, I think I mentioned it in my previous video, when you have pieces, and the pieces are light and dark, you want the pieces to stand out on the board. You don't want to have a situation where the background, the board itself, is so striking that it's, you know, the colors are so vivid that they distract you. For one, they can distract you. For two, they may be straining on the eyes. If you think about, you know, you're playing a game of chess for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you're staring at the board, you're looking at all the different variations. When you're having such bright, vivid, bright colors, potentially could be fatiguing on your eyes. Personally, from an aesthetic standpoint, I've put my chess pieces on this board, and I put my chess pieces on this board, and I like how my pieces sit on this more subtle green as opposed to this brighter green, vivid color. So if you have the option of choosing a more subtle color as opposed to a brighter, vivid one, I think, in my opinion, the subtle one looks better. Okay, both of the boards have about the same thickness to them. The old style has a little bit more porosities in the Mousepad material, whereas the new style, it looks like the porosities are a little bit like less dense, and the new board is heavier. So as far as the cost goes, I think the old one was about maybe $18 to $20 online. I bought it at US Chess store a long time ago. The new one, I think I bought it at US Chess store again, or maybe it was House of Staunton. But you can get these a lot, and they're about $20 maybe to $24. I think overall you get a really nice quality board. It's nice and heavy, it's thick, it looks like it's really well made, and it also feels like it's going to take on many games, and it's going to last you for many years. The Mousepad boards are always a great option. Now let's say you're one of those people who loves the feel and the look of a wooden chessboard, and that is the reason primarily why you're taking a wooden chessboard to tournaments instead of like a tournament roll-up board. There are options, and I looked online, and some people have recommended you can get a wooden color, different types of wood print roll-up boards. For example, this is a 2.2, right over here, I'm going to show it up close, a 2.25 inch standard Mousepad roll-up board that is actually walnut. So this color right here is kind of a walnut color. And this one here is really nice. I showed this to my wife and I said, what do you think about this particular board? Let me see if I can kind of... And she loved it. She loved it once again for the same reasons that I love it. She loved the fact that these little squares here are like, they're not striking. They're like more subtle, you know. The light colors aren't absolutely vivid white. They're kind of on the beige side, and then these darker colors, they're kind of like light brown, subtle, with little wood grain. So it really does kind of feel like you're playing on a wooden board, even though this is a simple mousepad board. Okay, so this is a great option for somebody who's kind of looking for in between, or somebody who loves to play on a wooden variety board but doesn't necessarily want to carry around or doesn't want to spend the money on a nice wooden board. 2.25 with notation, looks great. Backside already got dusted somehow. You have the mousepad material. Now in this particular case, this one here is a little bit lighter than this. One's going to be a little thicker, okay, a little thicker, a little heavier. This wooden one is going to be lighter. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you guys, but thickness wise, you can see right over here, the tournament green one is probably like twice as thick. So, but that doesn't mean that this is a cheaply made board. This board is quite nice. I was very pleasantly surprised when I received this board. I think I spent about $24 on it. For one, the front part of it here, where the board is extremely smooth. It's like silky smooth. When you take this board, the green one, and you run your hand against it, you feel some degree of like fabric resistance. This one is super smooth. I mean, it's not like high-end wood board smooth, but this is super smooth. So you can actually use a board like this and slide your pieces around with felt, and I feel like it's, you know, it's going to give you a nice, great experience. The board's really nice. It folds up really effectively into, you know, into like a fourth, or you can just roll it up. It's relatively thin, but it doesn't look like it's going to tear or anything on you, so you can just roll it up. So this is, in my opinion, this is my new favorite roll-up board, just because it pretty much hits on all the points that I would want out of a roll-up board. The nice subtle color, the notation, the lightweight, the build quality, and it's only, you know, only like 25 bucks. So definitely another option for those of you guys who are looking for a nice roll-up board that want both, you know, quality, looks, and everything. Now here's another mousepad variety board. This one here is also a 2.25 inch square inch board, tournament size, but this one is going to be brown and white instead of green and white. It's about the same thickness as the wooden theme board that I just showed you guys, so it's not super thick. I think these are the type of varieties that are becoming a little bit more popular nowadays, just because they don't have to do you know, they don't have to spend a lot of material to make these boards, and overall, being that they're a little bit thinner, they're really nice. They're really easy to fold, just like the other one. You can fold it in 8. You can fold it in 16. So you can't really necessarily do that with that big thick board, but roll it up like this, you could literally fit something like this in your pocket. Okay, so this, being that it's a little thinner, it's really quite nice. A lot of people love this brown variety. A lot of people love the brown color instead of the green, just because it goes a lot better with some of the wooden chess pieces. But overall, this is also a very nice, very pleasant board. It's not as smooth as the previous board that I've shown, but it's overall, this is a great board. I feel like there's, as far as roll-up boards go, you can get yourself some really nice boards that you're going to be very happy with, regardless of whether you're choosing to get a board for your wooden pieces, for your plastic pieces. I feel like there's definitely options out there that you don't necessarily need to go with a fancy wooden board. Especially if you're traveling or if you're going to tournaments, you can snag yourself one of these online for not very expensive and really be quite satisfied. In my opinion, you could be quite satisfied with a board like that. So that's about it for this video. Thanks guys for watching. As usual, I'm always happy to bring you guys some more chess content. Be sure to stay tuned for the next video. Be sure to play more chess if you get a chance, and stay productive, stay happy, and stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.